Chosen one, there are moments when you wake up in the morning and even before the day begins, you already feel heavy. It's as though your strength has been quietly leaking away and your soul aches for rest you can't quite find. You've prayed, you've pushed, and you've kept your faith alive, yet deep within, you still feel drained. This message comes to remind you that what you're feeling is not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of depth. You are not just tired because of what you do, you're weary because of what you carry. There is purpose in your fatigue, and understanding that purpose will unlock the strength you've been longing for. You see, the exhaustion that clings to you isn't always physical. It's spiritual, emotional, and deeply tied to your divine identity. The weight you feel pressing on your heart isn't random. It's the result of standing on sacred ground that others can't always see. You've been fighting battles that don't always have names, interceding without words, and carrying assignments that heaven itself entrusted to you. Sometimes that kind of spiritual responsibility leaves even the strongest souls feeling empty. But God is not blind to your weariness. He's inviting you to see it not as defeat, but as an invitation to draw closer to His strength. Chosen one, the fatigue that lingers over your days often begins in the unseen realm. You've been in spiritual battles far longer than most people realize. You might not see the invisible struggle, but you feel it, the mental fog, the emotional heaviness, the sudden discouragement that seems to come from nowhere. These are not coincidences. They're signs that your spirit has been engaging in warfare. When you carry divine light, darkness notices. When you step into obedience, resistance rises. But even when your body feels weak and your soul weary, remember that your spirit remains connected to a power greater than anything that opposes you. The opposition you face is proof of your calling. You are not attacked because you are failing. You are targeted because you are effective. The adversary doesn't waste energy on those who are idle. He goes after those who build, who speak life, who carry purpose. Your tiredness, chosen one, is often the echo of unseen clashes between light and darkness. But the same power that raised the Son of God from the grave lives within you, and that power has not diminished because you feel weary. You may be tired, but you are still victorious. You may feel drained, but heaven still recognizes your authority. Now, pause for a moment and breathe. Let these words sink into your heart. You're not weak for feeling tired. You're human, and your divine assignment comes with a weight that can sometimes feel overwhelming. Even the strongest warriors need rest. Even the greatest leaders in Scripture reached moments where they could no longer push without renewal. God designed rest not as a luxury, but as a strategy for survival. He never intended for you to fight on empty. He wants to fill you, refresh you, and teach you that surrender is not quitting, it's recharging in His presence. Maybe lately you've been questioning why it feels like your prayers take so much energy, why even your quiet time feels like labor, and why every step of obedience feels heavier than before. That's because the season you're in demands more spiritual endurance than the last. Growth always requires greater strength, and strength always begins with stretching. You are being strengthened even in the fatigue. You're learning to depend more on divine power and less on your own. You're being reshaped for a higher assignment that demands a stronger version of you. But here's what you must understand. Spiritual battles don't just affect your emotions, they affect your body too. The mind grows tired when constantly alert, the spirit grows weary when constantly interceding, and the body follows suit. That's why rest isn't just a physical act, it's a spiritual command. When you take time to breathe, to be still, and to sit quietly in the presence of God, you're not wasting time, you're being rebuilt. Your spirit drinks strength from stillness, and your heart refines peace in silence. There's another reason you've been feeling tired, and it's connected to the weight of your calling. Chosen one, you're carrying something significant, something that costs energy, patience, and faith to nurture. The calling on your life is heavy because it's meant to impact many lives. Purpose always comes with a price, and those chosen for divine tasks often feel that price in their bodies and souls. You push yourself to give, to serve, to stay obedient, even when no one applauds. You carry burdens others don't see. And because you refuse to give up, your heart often carries more than it should. But remember this, you were never meant to carry the full weight of your purpose alone. God didn't call you to exhaustion. He called you to partnership. When you feel tired from serving, remember that rest is also service. You serve God when you pause to receive His peace. You honor Him when you acknowledge that you need His strength more than your own effort. There is divine beauty in slowing down long enough for heaven to refill you. You don't have to prove your strength by running until you break. Sometimes the most powerful act of faith is to rest in the knowledge that God can handle what you cannot. Chosen one, this fatigue has also been emotional. You've carried pain quietly, fought battles in silence, and smiled through moments when your heart was breaking. You've been strong for everyone else while silently wishing someone could see how tired you are. But God sees. He sees the nights you lie awake, thinking, praying, wondering when peace will finally return. He hears the silent prayers you can't even speak out loud. You've been stretched emotionally because the heart of a chosen one is large. It loves deeply, feels deeply, and hurts deeply. Yet in that very depth lies your greatest power. The same heart that feels pain so intensely is also capable of receiving joy, love, and divine revelation at deeper levels than most. You might not realize it, but every tear you've shed has been watering seeds of purpose. Every sigh has been a prayer in disguise. Every moment of fatigue has been forming spiritual endurance. You are being strengthened in ways that your natural eyes cannot yet see. The weariness you feel is not the end of your story. It's the preparation for your next chapter. Let this message settle within you, chosen one. You are not failing, you are evolving. Fatigue doesn't mean defeat, it means transformation is taking place. You're being remolded for a greater capacity, not punished for being tired. The reason your spirit feels stretched is because you are growing into a new level of spiritual maturity. The same way a butterfly struggles in the cocoon before it takes flight, you are struggling because you are close to becoming who you are meant to be. So as you listen to this message, open your heart. Don't rush to fix everything or to push past the fatigue. Let God minister to your soul in this moment. Allow His Spirit to breathe life back into your weary places. When you hear these words, don't just hear motivation, hear restoration. You've given much, endured much, and believed through storms. Now it's time for you to be refilled. Chosen one, as you reflect on your journey, remember that every battle you've survived was shaping your strength for this season. The exhaustion you feel isn't permanent. There's a divine exchange taking place. You're trading human effort for supernatural energy, anxiety for peace, restlessness for divine stillness. Heaven is not asking you to push harder. It's inviting you to lean deeper.
Chosen one, when your heart begins to whisper that it cannot keep going, remember that your Creator never expected you to carry every burden alone. He invites you to lay the weight down. The weariness you feel is not meant to drown you. It is meant to draw you closer to the one who restores. Every time you pause to breathe and turn your thoughts toward heaven, you are exchanging your weakness for his strength. There is no shame in admitting that you need rest. Even the most devoted servants pause to drink from the well that never runs dry. There are seasons when God deliberately slows your pace, not because you have failed, but because he wants to protect what he is building in you. When your energy feels drained, he may be whispering that it is time to recover your balance. You cannot pour from an empty vessel. To fulfill your assignment, you must learn the rhythm of rest and renewal. The same hand that calls you to build also calls you to be still. In stillness, you hear his direction again, and confusion begins to fade. You might notice that lately, simple tasks seem to take greater effort. Even conversations drain you. This isn't just physical fatigue. It's a sign that your soul has been carrying too many voices and too much pressure. God is inviting you to release the noise. Pull away from distractions, even for a few minutes each day, and let quietness be your prayer. When you withdraw into his presence, you will feel a peace that words cannot describe. That peace is the evidence that heaven has not forgotten you. Sometimes your exhaustion is born from striving to meet expectations that God never placed on you. You may be working hard to please people, to keep up appearances, or to hold everything together by sheer will. But God never asked you to earn his favor through performance. He loves you because you are his, not because of what you achieve. Resting in that truth lifts a great weight from your heart. When you live from a place of acceptance instead of proving yourself, your strength begins to return. Chosen one, there are also emotional wounds that quietly drain your energy. Words that were spoken against you, betrayals that left invisible scars, disappointments that piled up one after another. These things do not vanish overnight. They linger, silently demanding energy to hold them down. Yet healing is possible when you bring those hurts into the light of prayer. You cannot heal what you hide. Speak honestly with God about how tired you feel and what has hurt you. In his presence, honesty is the first step toward restoration. When you let the tears fall, they cleanse the soul. You may think crying shows weakness, but in truth it is a sacred release. The same spirit that strengthens warriors also comforts the brokenhearted. Your tears are not wasted. They are prayers that rise before heaven as proof that you still believe enough to feel. Each one is noticed. Each one carries a promise that you will be comforted. As you heal emotionally, remember that your body is a sacred vessel. When you neglect it, your spiritual life suffers. Fatigue often deepens when you ignore the physical signs calling for rest, nourishment, and care. Treat your body as a gift, not an enemy. Eat what gives life, sleep when you need to, and move in ways that bring joy rather than guilt. In caring for yourself, you honor the Creator who shaped you with intention. When you begin to balance spirit, soul, and body, clarity returns. You will notice that the heaviness starts to lift, not at all at once, but gradually, like morning light breaking through the clouds. You'll wake one day and realize you are no longer carrying the same load. That's the miracle of divine renewal. It works quietly, but completely. There are practical steps you can take to guard your strength. Start each day with stillness before diving into responsibilities. Whisper gratitude for another breath, another sunrise, another chance to grow. Gratitude is a powerful defense against exhaustion because it shifts your focus from what drains you to what sustains you. End each day by releasing every worry back to God. The day's burdens are too heavy to take into the next day. Protect your energy by learning to say no when necessary. It is not unkind to set boundaries. It is wise stewardship. When you stretch yourself too thin, even good work can become harmful. Trust that God can accomplish His will without you doing everything alone. Delegating, resting, or stepping back for a time does not cancel your calling. It keeps you healthy enough to continue it.
Surround yourself with people who lift your spirit rather than drain it. Fellowship is medicine for a weary soul. Isolation magnifies fatigue, but godly community restores courage. Choose conversations that remind you of who you are in God, not who you used to be in fear. Encourage others, even when you feel low. Encouragement has a way of circling back and refreshing your own heart. Speak life over yourself daily. Replace thoughts of defeat with affirmations rooted in faith. Tell your soul that strength is returning, that peace is flowing again, that new energy is rising. Words carry creative power. When you speak from belief rather than exhaustion, you set your atmosphere in alignment with heaven's will. Chosen one, remember that your current weariness is temporary. Breakthroughs are often preceded by seasons of fatigue because growth demands energy. The soil of your life is being turned so new fruit can grow. The stretching you feel now is making room for more grace, more wisdom, more authority. Soon, you'll look back and realize that what once drained you has now trained you. So don't despise this tired season. Use it as a moment to lean into trust. God is not distant from your fatigue. He is sitting beside you in it. When you are too tired to pray, rest in the knowledge that He understands the prayers you can't articulate. When you are too tired to stand, know that His strength holds you up. You're not falling apart, you're being reassembled. Every moment of weakness is a space where His power can show itself strong. The tiredness is not your enemy. It is the signal that you are transitioning from one level of grace to another. Stay faithful in the small things, rest when you must, and watch how quietly strength returns. Chosen one, take a deep breath right now. Feel how even the smallest pause begins to calm the storm within. That's what God wants for you, peace that surpasses every fear. You have walked through long nights, but dawn always follows. The same Spirit that sustained prophets, apostles, and dreamers through their lowest moments is breathing in you now. You will rise again, stronger and wiser, not because the struggle disappeared, but because you learned to rest in divine power. Your tiredness will give birth to testimony. The days you thought were wasted will become the evidence of endurance. The moments you nearly quit will one day inspire others not to give up. This is how purpose works. It transforms pain into power, exhaustion into empathy, weakness into wisdom. Hold on, chosen one. A renewal is coming that will make sense of every weary night. Heaven has recorded every effort you made in faith. None of it was in vain. Keep your heart open and your expectations high. Even now, strength is returning. And as this message draws to its close, let it become your personal declaration. I am not finished. I am being refilled. I will walk again with strength. I will rest in divine peace. I will fulfill my purpose without burning out. I will thrive in balance and grace. May this truth settle deep within you. You are loved, you are seen, and you are being restored. Rise, chosen one, shake off the dust of exhaustion, stand tall in the assurance that new strength is yours. Rest when needed, but never surrender your hope. The hand of heaven rests upon you, guiding, healing, and renewing you. Every breath you take from this moment forward is evidence that purpose still flows through you. Father, thank you for the one reading these words. You see their fatigue and you care. Breathe your life into every weary place. Replace confusion with clarity, heaviness with peace, weakness with renewed strength.
Teach them the rhythm of rest and dependence on you. Let fresh joy rise within their spirit and remind them that they are never alone. Amen.